I thought with all of the instability and tenderness in the world right now, that we do a class centered around finding your footing. So just finding the capacity to ground down, to settle, and then opening from that place of settling. So we'll start today standing up. So come to stand on your mat. And we'll start in Tadasana, mountain pose. So have your feet pointing straight ahead, outer edges are parallel, and then you have one straight line from your inner hips down through the middle of your knees, down through the ankles, second and third toe. Take a minute here to really find your footing. Find the feet pressing down into the ground, and then feel for lifting and spreading the toes. This will lift and spread the arches. So keep that lift in the arches and then send your toes back down to the ground. Keep standing through all four corners of the feet. Maybe bring your hands onto your body. Take your inner upper thighs and roll them slightly back. This will widen your low back. If that starts to feel too archy in your low back, you can balance that by sending the tailbone down. Pull the belly back towards the spine. Send the shoulders back, sides of the throat, ears back. Tadasana, mountain pose. And as you found your footing, you can close your eyes or soften your gaze. And bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. We'll take a moment here to just check in with how we're breathing. Beginning to feel the low belly expand as much as the chest, maybe even more. Dropping the breath down into the core of the belly. Just notice how you're feeling today. Notice if the breath is ragged or deep. Notice what adjustments you can make to help yourself settle. We'll take a few more breaths like this, and then I'll invite you to take a pranayama, a breathing exercise with me. Today we'll find Dirgya Pranayama. Dirgya means long, and it's often called three-part breath. So we'll begin by inhaling into the belly. We'll hold. Then we'll breathe into the ribs, hold, and then breathe all the way up to the roof of the mouth, hold, and then exhale through the nose, letting the breath go in one fell swoop. If you'd like to try this with me, please exhale completely. Inhale into the low belly, hold, inhale into the ribs, hold, inhale all the way up to the roof of the mouth, hold, and exhale, let it all go. Breathe into the belly, hold, into the ribs, hold, breathe all the way up to the roof of the mouth, hold, and exhale, let it all go. Try a few more rounds with your own breath, not my voice. Feeling for how you might get some more information about your breath by practicing these holds, practicing this restraint of inflating the belly with one motion at a time. Continue finding your footing, pressing down through all four corners of the feet, maybe lifting through the heart or crown of the head. Take one more round of Dirjya Pranayama. And as you've completed that, return to your own slow, deep breath. Notice any changes that you might have noticed between now and the beginning of class. And as you're ready, you can blink open your eyes, drop your hands to your sides, and then on your next inhale, slowly sweep your arms up overhead, palms might touch. And then as you exhale, bend the knees and fold forward. Bringing hands to floor or block. On your next inhale, bring hands to shins, halfway lift, flat spine. And as you exhale, let it all go, fold in. And then on your next inhale, come back up. Keep moving through these half sun salutations as slowly as it serves you. Notice how you can use the feet pressing down into the ground to steady yourself. We'll take a few more rounds here. Just enjoy your breath as you begin to open the spine. Take one more round or finish the one you're on. No rush. As you complete that, I'll meet you back in Tadasana, mountain pose. From here, we'll move into a variation of cat-cow. So bring your arms out to goalpost. Your feet are still hip-width distance apart. If you want more of a challenge, you can bring inner edges of the feet together. That will just be a little more difficult for balance, so you decide. As you're ready, on your inhale, begin to arch back, sending tailbone down. As you exhale, bring palms together and hollow and round. So every inhale will bring you into the arch. Send your tailbone down and find more bend in the upper back. And as you exhale, round in. Move with your own breath. Feel for how you can stand down into your feet. Maybe that allows you to open a little deeper. And as you're ready to let that go, come back into the round shape. You can explore staying in the back bend or in this rounded shape for as many breaths as you would like. So either keep flowing or stay in one side of the pose, breathing into that. As you're ready, we'll bring this to a close. So come back through center, through Tadasana. If you had your inner edges of the feet together, you can step back to inner hip width distance. And then on your inhale, sweep your arms up. Grab onto your right wrist with your left hand. Pull up through the fingertips and then side bend over to your left. Hips will shoot to the right. On your next inhale, come back up through center, switch sides. So reach onto that left wrist, side bend over to the right, hips kick to the left. We'll try this one more time, so come back through center, switch your grip, side bend over to your left, hips kick to the right. This time we'll stay for a few breaths. So really use all four corners of your feet, especially inner edges of the feet. Make them heavy down into the mat. Find more length, more space to side bend. We're in Uttanasana, standing crescent. Keep knees tracking right over ankles. Take one more breath here. As you're ready, come back up. Switch your grip one more time. Reach up through the fingertips and side bend over to the right. Hips kick to the left. Again, ground down through all four corners of the feet. Maybe find a little more lift to find a little more space to take you over to your right. Breathe deeply into your lungs, even maybe breathe down into your feet. Take one more breath here. As you're ready, come back up, release, and then step your feet wide. So you're in this wide-legged stance. So your wrists are roughly over your ankles. Bring your hands to your hips and then soft bend in the knees. Begin to hinge forward, coming into a fold. The hands can come to floor or block. And then take your left hand down to the either floor or block so that the palm is flat. And then reach your right arm up to the sky. Bring that right back of the palm onto the sacrum. And then use that to keep the sacrum level. So from here, we'll begin to twist over to the right while keeping the right hip from lifting. So right hip will want to go up. Use that hand on the low back to keep yourself anchored so that the twist can come from the belly, not from the hips. This might feel more subtle than a big hip poppin' kind of twist, but use this to really revolve yourself around. Keep your feet, keep your pelvis steady. Take one more breath. As you're ready, begin to turn your torso back down towards the ground. Keep that right palm on the back of the sacrum. Feel for the pelvis being perfectly level, like you could set a cup of tea there. Then once you have that, reach your right arm out and around for your left thigh or left shin. And then use that, keep that memory of that palm on the back of the sacrum to keep your pelvis level as you revolve around over to your left. If you've got that palm on the floor, you may even be able to peek the head through the arms. Or you can just look up to the sky or even down to the floor. So again, pulling yourself over to the left as you keep that pelvis steady. Take one more breath here. And as you're ready, come back through center. Switch your palms. So now right palm is down on the ground. Left palm will come to low back. You know where we're going, so begin to twist open to the left, keeping that left hip from popping up. So find the twist truly in the belly. Send more weight into the balls of the feet so that you have this feeling of almost tipping forward. Use that to really revolve yourself around without lifting that left hip. Take one more breath here. Then as you're ready, come back through center. Left palm, keep that memory there as you reach left palm over for right thigh, right shin. And then keep that pelvis steady as you revolve yourself over to the right. So this time the right hip is going to try to lift more. So keep that pelvis level, finding even ground here Pressing through all four corners of the feet, keeping the pelvis flat as you twist from the belly for one more breath. On your next inhale, come back through center. You can heel toe your feet together, and then we'll come down to hands and knees. So you can inhale to sweep up, and exhale, come on down. So once you've found hands and knees, we'll take just a couple rounds of regular cat-cow. The toes are tucked or untucked. Inhale, we'll bring you into the arch. Exhale, tuck and round. Maybe you shift side to side or front to back. Just using this time to open up. Okay. From here, please tuck your toes if they're not already tucked. Walk your hands one handprint forward. Walk your knees one knee print back. And then lift hips to the sky for downward facing dog. Knees might be bent the whole time. That might help you send your heart through towards your heels. Getting hips higher to the sky. Find your footing here so you're on your feet and your hands. So press down heavy through all four corners of the hands. So make that index knuckle heavy. It likes to lift. And even send more weight to the pinky edge side of the hand to roll the shoulders open. We'll take one more breath here. And as you're ready, shift forward to plank, knees up or down. Pull belly towards spine, and then as you exhale, elbows bend back towards your body, lower down. From here, untuck the toes, place palms outside the ribs, pull belly towards spine, lift yourself up and through for cobra. Don't lose your feet here. Your feet are part of your grounding, so press through the tops of the feet. Maybe find a little more lift, a little more capacity to curl back, like we were doing at the beginning of class in that standing cat-cow. Take one more breath here. As you exhale, send yourself long and down. Bring your left elbow at a diagonal right in front of your mat. So it's parallel-ish, diagonal to the short edge of your mat. Bend your right knee. Right knee is going to try to go wide. Snuggle it in towards your left leg. Reach back for your right hand. Catch the inner edge of that foot. Outer edge is fine if inner is not accessible. Again, pull that right knee in. And then begin to bend that right heel back towards your hip for half frog. Don't lose the left leg. It will try to go limp. Press down through left thigh, left top of the foot. Maybe use that, even pressing down through that left forearm to bring yourself a little higher. The hips will try to open to the right. Try to square yourself back towards the top of your mat. Take two more breaths. Pull belly towards spine, press down through the hand, down through the top of that foot. And then as you're ready, gently release, and we'll switch sides. So this right forearm will come across at a diagonal. Bend that left knee. Snuggle that left knee in towards the right thigh. Reach back for inner if possible, outer if not, edge of that left foot. And begin to bring that heel towards the hip. Again, press through top of that right foot, even right thigh, right forearm. You just have to give yourself a little more lift. We'll be here for one more breath. Drink it in. And then as you exhale, release, come back through center. From here, we'll press ourselves back up to hands and knees. Swing that right knee out at about a 45 degree. And then take the left foot, extend it long, stamp that left foot down into the ground. Begin to bring left hand onto that hip, roll yourself open towards the sky. If there's any discomfort in that right wrist, you can walk the hand forward a smidge, pressing down through the fingertips, and then take that left arm, maybe reach overhead for gate pose. Really find your footing here. Use that whole left foot, stamping down into the ground, even using that right toes tucked on the ground to give yourself more stability to roll your heart open. We'll take 2 more breaths. And as you're ready, keep your feet as they are. Bring your left fingertips down to the ground and begin to walk that left hand onto the left hip. Pull yourself up so you're kneeling. From here, release the arms to a T. Take that left hand to left thigh or shin, not the knee, and then begin to find the counter pose, bending over to your left. I like keeping the hand on the lower thigh because it gives me just more stability to really bend over to the left. Again, find your footing, stamp down through that foot. Maybe use that to revolve yourself open towards the sky. Take 2 more slow, deep breaths. Really use what's on the ground, pressing into the ground to revolve yourself open. And as you're ready, come back up, bend that left knee, come back to hands and knees. All right, second side. So take those left toes out at a 45 degree, toes are tucked. Reach that right leg back, stamp it into the ground. Bring right hand to right hip. Begin to roll yourself open. Any jamming in that left wrist, just walk it forward a smidge. Press down through the fingertips and down through that back right foot. Begin to open that top right arm overhead, finding a stretch as if you're connected, because you are, all the way from right outer edge of the foot through the right fingertips. Feel one long line. Take 1 more breath. And as you're ready, bring your fingertips back down to the ground. Take that left hand onto the left hip, and then take right hand onto the thigh. Begin to come over for the counter pose. Really stamp down into that right foot. Maybe use that stamping down to lean a little bit more to your right. If that left shoulder is hiking up, send it down the back. Let it release. Take 1 more breath. As you're ready, you can bend that right knee, come back to hands and knees, and then we'll take a couple rounds of cat-cow just to rinse out the low back. So inhale to drop, exhale to arch. Okay. From here, as you feel ready, let's take the knees wide, take big toes towards touching, and then walk back, hips back for child's pose. Walk the hands forward, and then press down and forward through the fingertips, finding a lift in the underside of the arms into the armpits. So the fingertips press down forward, and then use that to stretch the hips back behind you. Head may or may not release to the floor. Just find a stretch. The hips and the fingertips move in opposite directions, stretching the whole length of your spine. And as you're ready, you can come back to center, returning to tabletop. And from here, if you have a blanket that you would like under your knees, we're going to be on our knees for a minute, so this might feel better for you. So please come up on the fingertips, give yourself some space, tuck the toes, and then step right hand as many steps as you need between the hands for low lunge. Bring your right thumb into your right hip crease and then pull that hip crease back. From here, switch your right hand and right foot. So the right hand will come inside that foot, and then right foot will wiggle out towards the outer edge of your mat. Then back into that front right knee, tuck the left toes, walk that left knee 1 knee print back. From here, we're going to move dynamically. So as you inhale, lunge forward into that right knee, sending it straight ahead, not wobbling to the side. As you exhale, straighten that leg, shift the hips back, come onto the right heel. So every inhale, stamp that foot back down, knee goes straight forward past the ankle. And as you exhale, come on back onto that heel. So move with your own breath, slowing the movement down so you can keep everything moving forward and backwards in one straight line. If you'd like to stay in the low lunge, knee forward, or stay in this half split with toes flexing back towards your face, please feel free to do so. We'll be here 2 more breaths. Slow them down. And as you're ready, the next time you come into the low lunge, you can begin to walk that right foot back so that you come back to kneeling. Come back onto fingertips, give yourself some space. Step that left foot forward between the hands. Bring left thumb into left hip crease, pull that hip back to square the hips. And then switch places, left hand, left foot. So the left hand will come inside that left foot. Square the hips again, and then as you, or actually take your right knee back 1 knee print behind you, and then as you inhale, lunge into that left knee, and then exhale, come back onto the left heel, straightening the leg. And your straight might be relative like mine. It might not look like one long line, but keep those left toes flexing back so that you have that sense of integration through the leg. We mostly just want to keep everything aligned, but opening comes over time. We want the structure and the support so that we can open safely. Take 3 more breaths. As you inhale, come back to hands and knees, and then step that left foot back, return to kneeling, drop palms to the ground, tuck the toes, and then press up, down dog. Take a moment in down dog to catch your breath. You're figuring out what you can do to get hands more steady. The hands are almost acting as your feet here. So really press down through all four corners of the hands. Roll more weight towards the pinky side edge to open the shoulders while keeping that knuckle grounded. On your next inhale, shift forward into plank, knees up or down. Pull belly towards spine, hollow round the upper back, and then exhale, lower all the way down to your mat. We'll set up for Sphinx pose. So the elbows will come right under the shoulders. Hands are shoulder width distance apart. Press down through the tops of the feet and then pull belly towards spine as you inhale, arch the head back. Elbows can stay down or they can lift. Sink down through the shoulders here and then lift head and neck up out of the shoulders. Squeeze your glutes, send tailbone back and down behind you. Take one more breath here. Maybe curl back a little bit deeper. As you exhale, come back down. We'll plant the palms. And if you've got that blanket beneath your knees, just swoosh it away so that we don't have any blanket obstructions. From here, we'll return to downward facing dog. So walk the hands ahead, head forward. Knees and knee press back. Lift your tush to the sky. Maybe keep the knees bent or straighten the legs. On your next inhale, lift your right leg back and up. And then step it through the hands, coming into a high lunge. So find your footing here. Pull right hip back. Squeeze the feet together. And then once you have your footing, you can come on up. Hands can come onto that front thigh, they can come to hips, or they can come overhead. So just find a place where you can have the stability and the support to hold yourself upright. Okay, keep bending into that right knee, don't lose that connection. And then from here, we're going to transition to warrior three. So bring a bend into that left knee, spring forward, and then lift that left leg back behind you. Hands might want to come to hips or they can come straight out in front of you. Begin to lift that back left inner thigh up to the sky as if you could have one long line from left heel through the head. Warrior three. If you have a wall, you can always steady yourself. Bring your hands to your thigh. Bring them out in front of you or back behind you. Take one more breath. And as you exhale, come back through high lunge. Appreciate the simplicity of this shape. Find your footing again. Maybe walking that left heel back, bending into the right knee, pulling belly towards spine, straightening the back leg. One more breath here. As you exhale, come back down, frame the front foot, down dog. So bend the knees, tush to the sky, heart towards the thighs. And as you feel steady, we'll try the second side. So lift that left leg up and back, keep the pelvis level like we practice in forward fold, and then step that left foot through. Before you come up, find your footing. So you may need to widen your feet left to right, pull the left hip back, squeeze those feet energetically together, and then come on up for your lunge. You can keep hands on the hips, pushing the pelvis down, lifting up out of the pelvis. Keep hands on thigh or lift them overhead. One is not better than the other. Find the one that helps you feel stable. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. Really do what you need to do to feel steady here. And as you're ready, you know where we're going. Bend that right knee, spring up off of it. Begin to lift that right leg from the back inner thigh up to the sky. Toes point straight down. Again, you can bring those hands onto the thigh, out in front of you, back behind you. Keep pointing the toes of the right foot straight down. Keep lengthening your torso out of your pelvis. Get so long here. We'll hold for maybe 3 more breaths. And as you're ready, replace those right toes on the floor and return to your high lunge. So do all the things you know you need to do. So really pulling belly towards spine, keeping that bend in the left knee, lifting that back right inner thigh up to the ceiling, straightening that back leg, maybe lifting your arms. Take 1 more breath here. As you're ready, you can frame out, bring hands to either side of that left foot, down dog. All right, from here, bend your knees, toes to the sky, heart towards your heels 1 more time, and then press down and away through the fingertips, really sending your heart back towards your thighs. Keep weight in both edges of the hand. Keep weight in the toes. Maybe use that to lift the hips a little bit higher. Then on your next inhale, shift forward into plank. Knees up or down as always. And exhale, lower all the way down to your mat. Untuck the toes. Place the palms outside the ribs. Press down through the tops of the feet so much that kneecaps lift. Pull belly towards spine and pull yourself up and through. Coming into cobra. Take a few more breaths here. And as you're ready, come back down and flip over onto your backs. Setting up for bridge pose. The soles of the feet will be on the floor. Feel for your outer edges of the feet parallel, and then bring your heels pretty close to your hips. You want to be able to just brush that heel with the back of the finger. You can bring arms into robot. The elbows might be out at about a 45 degree. Ground down through the upper arms so much that you can begin to lift your back up off the mat. Then press down through the feet. Lift the hips to the sky. Keep pressing down through the feet, all 4 corners, down through the upper arms. Use that to lift the hips a little bit higher. If any jamming is happening in your low back, send your tailbone away from you. So it will scoop under just a smidge. Take a few more breaths here. And as you're ready, slowly begin to lower your hips all the way back down. Keep your feet where they are, but pick up your right foot, cross right ankle outside of left knee. Send that right knee away from you, finding a stretch in the right outer hip. You can keep arms in robot, you can come to goal post, but flex that right foot and press down into the left foot on the floor. We'll try this variation for a few moments before we hug that left knee in. So really feel into your right outer hip as you send that right knee away from you. Notice what the stretch is like. Notice if you can find more space for your breath. We'll even try 2 rounds of Dirya Pranayama here. So inhale into the belly, hold, into the ribs, hold, all the way up to the roof of the mouth, hold, and exhale, let it all go. Try one more round with your own breath. Feeling for how you can keep using that left foot, pressing down into the ground to send the right knee away from you as you expand the torso here. As you're ready, take your hands, send right hand through that triangle of the legs, left hand outside the left thigh, interlace behind the thigh or onto the shin. I personally find that behind the thigh gives me a lot more leverage. And then hug that left thigh in, send right knee away from you. Notice how this might change the stretch in the right hip, right thigh. If it interests you, you can try a round of Dirya Pranayama here, remembering that it means long breath. So even if you're scrunched up, how long can you make your breath? Take one more round of breath, however you're breathing. And on this inhale, unwind, release that right foot back to the ground. Feel out your thighs and hips from left to right. Notice any difference. Then as you're ready, pick up that left foot, left ankle outside of right knee. Really flex that left foot and then send left knee away from you. Arms in cactus, robot, you decide. Breathe long into your belly. Keep that left foot flexed. Keep pressing down into the entire right foot on the ground. If you'd like to try Dirya Pranayama with me, please exhale. Inhale into the belly. Hold. Into the ribs. Hold. Into the roof of the mouth. Hold. And exhale, let it all go. Try one more round of your own breath. Keep sending that left knee away, right foot into the ground. Slow down your breath to increase your awareness. As you feel ready, you can take your left hand through that triangle, pick up that right foot, right hand comes outside the thigh, hug that right knee in, keep flexing the left toes as you send that left knee away from you. Notice if this changes the stretch. It does for me. I feel it more in the inner left thigh and the outer left hip. It doesn't mean it's better than the other one. The other one will stretch the psoas muscle more than this hugging of the thigh. So just notice what's different. And bring your awareness back to your breath, slowing it down. Maybe try and Dirya Pranayama here, the belly a little more compressed. Then as you're ready, you can slowly begin to unwind. Bring both soles of the feet back down to the ground, and then roll off to one side and help yourself back up. We're going to move into a heart bench, so you'll need a blanket or a pillow of some sort. If you have a blanket, you have two options. If you have something like what the studio has, kind of a firmer, smaller blanket, you can fold it into a log, place that onto your mat, sit your hips up, and then rest back so that your hips are on the ground, but your heart is slightly elevated. If you want more than that, or if you don't quite have this kind of blanket, you can take the blanket that you do have and make a roll. So the fatter the roll, the more intense. So just keep that in mind. So if you roll it lengthwise, it will be less intense. So you can roll it up, place it across your mat, and then the bottom edge of your shoulder blade will come onto this roll. And then from there, go lie back. You can have your arms in cactus or gold pose so they can come onto your body. So pick what kind of heart bench you would like to find. Find something comfortable as much as you're able to. And then feel what's touching the ground. So as we release and open hearts towards the sky, we still need the integration in the back body so that we're not opening from this place of not having support. So really feel what's pressing into the mat, press that all down, 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 and then use that to gently radiate your heart towards the sky. Get comfortable here. We'll be here for a few moments. Feel for finding your footing, even here as you rest on your back. Find the support of what you can press into to open up. Again, an invitation to just bring more awareness to the breath through taking Dirjya Pranayama again. There's something about slowing down the breath and finding the 3 zones of the torso that for me really opens up my awareness of my whole body. So if you'd like to take that here, you're welcome to. Otherwise, you can soften the eyes or close them and just return to your natural breath. Feeling yourself pressing down and opening up. Slow, deep, and sweet can your breath be here? Use the breath to rinse through your entire being, bringing more oxygen, more support to all of your cells. If you're really grooving in this heart bench and you just want to be here, you're welcome to stay here. Or you can gently roll off to a side and we'll come onto our backs and we'll take a supine twist, a twist on our backs before Shavasana. You decide what you would like to do. If you'd like to take that twist, come off of your blanket, bring your arms into goalpost, and then release your knees towards your chest and then over to the right. You can snuggle them in up towards your right armpit. You can take that right ankle over the left knee, using that to traction out that left thigh. Wherever you are, find some of the slowest, sweetest breaths you've found all day. As you're ready, release your knees back through center and then drop them to the left. Again, option to snuggle those knees up towards the left armpit. Maybe you take left ankle outside right knee. Use that to traction that right thigh long. Keeping shoulders anchored, back and head anchored down into the mat. As you release your breath through the length of your whole being. Take one more breath in and out. As you're ready, come back through center. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And then release your legs long, coming into Shavasana. Just staying in the heart bench or just coming to a more traditional Shavasana with legs long, arms out to your sides. And of course, if there's a different shape you'd prefer for this time, please find it now. Wherever you've landed, just allow your senses to recede. Eyes grow heavy in your skull, slacken your jaw and your tongue. Just let your eardrums grow heavy, beginning to listen internally. Take this time and final rest. Just allow yourself to release back into your own being, back into the oneness that connects us all. Shavasana, final rest. Slowly begin to deepen the breath. Bring your awareness back into your body, back into the room. Begin to flex your toes back towards your face, engaging the legs as if you could stand on the wall in front of you. Feel the stability, this integration through your feet, lifting all the way up through your low back, maybe into your torso. As you're ready, you can roll off to one side and then gently return to a comfortable seat, eyes closed or gaze soft. You can interlace your hands over your heart, palm to palm together in front of your heart or onto your thighs. May you find the stability and support that you need to stand your ground, to open safely to whatever challenges await us. Have a wonderful day. Peace.